Oh, hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I'm your girl Kelly and this is Taurus Talk. So today is, well, first of all, I got this bonnet on because it's early in the morning and don't nobody got time for that. I got my coffee because y'all already know how I am with the coffee. Okay, so if you are not subscribed to my channel, make sure you are subscribed. Make sure you hit that like button and make sure you drop a comment below for different content that you would like to see or other story times that you would like to hear. If you enjoy story times, sitting, chilling in your bed or whatever you know, however you like to do it, and you like to hear funny stories, creepy stories, make sure you are subscribed to my channel because that is the type of content that I upload. Hope everyone had a Merry Christmas. I still got my lights up in the back as y'all can see, and let's jump right into this video. So first, the title, as y'all can tell, is when I actually moved to California. So I was around 19, 20, I don't really remember, probably was like 19. I had just got out of a toxic relationship. If you guys want to hear about that story, the link will be in the description for the last video that I did on that, my first toxic relationship, I believe it was called. And so this is going to be the story that happened after that. So so I was about 19. I had just got out of this horrible relationship. I believe that I left off telling you guys about when I had came back to my hometown, but I had told my grandma, I'm like, listen, I do not want to stay here. I'm just like over it. I was like in a really bad headspace. I was depressed. I was suicidal. I was really skinny. I had lost a lot of weight. I was just like distraught, like I just didn't want to be here, and I just didn't care like about life. Like I didn't have, as you guys know, I didn't have like a good bond at the moment, like with, you know, my family. So I just felt alone. Like I was just literally alone by myself, and I was like, I gotta get out of here. Like I'm not even gonna stay here. Like I'm coming, like I was coming home back from the situation that I was in, but I didn't really feel at home, if that makes sense. Like I still felt like something was missing from my life, and I just knew that I just had to get myself together. So oh yeah, I'm showing off my gloss from my collection. It's called Cherry Champagne. It's my glam gloss from my website, bellsbeautyshop.org. Okay, anyway, so make a long story short, I was with my aunt, I believe. I went home, like the house that I grew up in, and my grandma was just like, nah, like whatever, like we still on the same type of town that we were before you left, like, you know, whatever. So I was like, well, I don't know where to go. So I had asked my aunt at the time, I was like, well, you know, can I stay here for a little bit, because, you know, yeah, I mean, and don't know. Okay, so what I'm telling y'all is like all exclusive. Like don't nobody really know about this, right? Like this is all like exclusive details. And I'm trying, and it has been years. It has been like over like 4 or 5 years. So bear with me. But so I ended up staying at my aunt's for literally like a day, and I literally, like, she went to, I remember like her going to work, and I was like setting up my room and like unpacking all my things, putting my clothes away in the closet, like setting up everything, like, you know, like whatever, trying to make my room look cute, because growing up I had a room there. So my aunt like always had like a room for like me and my sisters, like whatever. And so I just was like, oh, like this is my room, this, that, and third, whatever. So I'm gonna just put, you know, all my stuff away, make it cute. So I was getting comfortable, and I was just like, you know, whatever. So I remember like showing her like, hey, like this is my room, whatever. And I think that later on that night, like when she got home from work, I think like after dinner, it was like 9, 10 o'clock at night, whatever, and I was on the phone with my brother, And keep in mind, like, this particular brother that I was speaking to, I did not grow up with him. I've seen him growing up, but he was like always like in and out of jail, so I didn't really have like a relationship with him. Although like he's cool, like he's like cool as ever, like he's a cool dude, like whatever, he's my brother. But for some reason, like, he started talking to me about like stuff that happened when we were kids. So I forgot like what the topic of the convo was, or why we started talking, or why I was even on the phone with him in the first place. Because keep in mind, like, I'm still in a bad headspace, you know what I mean, like, but I was trying to get my life back on track. So so I was like, yeah, I have a I gotta tell my aunt this or something, or I want to ask her, like, just to clarify, because my aunt knew me, she knew me my whole life, like she helped raise me, so whatever. And so I went into her room, and I don't know, like I said, I don't remember what the question was or like what I was asking, but it was just like a fucking but it was just like, it went from like 0 to 100 like real fucking quick. And I'm just like, what, like, why are you so mad? And she started like cursing me out, calling me an ungrateful B, like the B word. And I'm just like, what, like, how am I ungrateful, like whatever. I immediately like took my packed my stuff. She was like, oh, you're leaving, you're going back to grandma's house, you can't stay here, da 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 da. And I don't even remember, like, she didn't even let me pack a bag. Like I was like, what, like I was so confused, like, bro, I was so confused. We were just arguing whatever in the car, and we had got to my grandma's house. At this point, it's like, I think 2 a.m. I don't even know, like, it was just late, and my grandma answering the door, like, it's dark. She like, what's going on, like, and her bata and shit. And I'm like, what? So she drops me off or whatever, and I literally just have like my purse and like my phone, and I'm like, what, like, here I am yet again with nothing with nothing, just trying to like find my way, like, you know, like, you know. And as a teenager, as a young adult, it's kind of like, what the fuck, because you don't really know like what's gonna happen like after this, you know what I mean, because you're taking me back to the person that said that they didn't want me to live with them. You just called me out my name for no reason, just violated my whole life, calling me ungrateful, which I don't understand how I'm ungrateful. And then so boom, so then whatever, she just basically was like, yeah, this one, she can't stay with me, I tried something. I'm like, bro, I was with you for a day, like, how did you try, like, what? So the next day I just was like, well, I gotta get a job, like I gotta get an interview, because I'm not gonna stay here. All right, y'all, so oh, and I got cup noodles. So I don't care, I love cup noodles. But so where's I left off at? So I was like, yeah, I gotta get up out of here, because you literally just dropped me back off at the person that said that they didn't even want me to like live with them anymore or whatever. And I just was like, whatever. So so now it's the next morning, and I'm like, yo, like, I gotta find a job, like I gotta get some money, like I gotta like do something, because I gotta get up out of here. So I don't know, I don't remember what day it was. It probably, I think, was like the weekend at this point. I think it was the weekend. Oh no, I think it was like a Monday. No, it had to be a Friday. I don't know, don't quote me. But so now it's the next morning, and I'm like, yo, like I gotta find a job. So I had went to this job interview, because, you know, I'm the type of person, like, I don't like to be broke, I don't like to not have no money, I don't like to just not have anything, you know, to show for, you know. And I'm the type of person, like, I believe that this situation, you guys will see about it, and like this is how I become, or as we get further into the other videos, this is how I become like so strong, because of this, the things that I've been through. And while I've always been like determined and driven and just like a hardworking person, because of the things that I went through, and I remember like not having anything, you know. So it's like, once you're great, once you get to the point where you have things, it's like it just makes you so grateful and just appreciate just like every little thing, right? So getting back to the story, so the next day I had a job interview. I was on Indeed all night, like and someone ended up calling me, so it was like later on in the day that I had an interview. So this is something that I never really like. So at the time, I didn't have a car, obviously, and I was taking the train to an appointment, or to an interview. I was taking the train to an interview. And if you guys are from Philly, or if you guys are familiar with Philly trains, like, you know, subways or public transportation, I was on the subway, and I'm taking like the subway, I believe, to the city. I don't really remember, don't quote me on the details, like I said. But so I began to feel, because I remember having a conversation with one of my friends about what was going on and what was happening to me, that was like traumatizing, things that happened to me when I was living with my ex. So that just kept replaying in my head as I'm on the subway going to this interview. So I'm just like still mentally, you know, like messed up or whatever. Listen, I don't got time. I don't got time. I don't got time. Something just fell in the bathroom. Hello? I don't got... I'm gonna just close the door because... Anyway, that was creepy as fuck. But so I'm thinking about this the whole time that I'm on the train on the way to this interview. I'm like, yeah, I'm about to get this job, whatever. Because throughout my whole life, this is one thing about Kelly. Like, I've always been driven. I've always been determined. I've always been independent. I've always been, I'm going to get this job. I'm going to get that. When I say I'm going to get that job, I'm going to get this job. All right. So, whatever. So, I'm on the train and I'm thinking about this. And I'm like, it's making me feel like sad. Keep in mind, I'm depressed. I'm suicidal. I'm just like, you know, at the time I was like spitting up acid because I was like, my body was kind of like getting off of just whatever, like, you know, like, not, I wasn't on stuff, but like, you know, I wasn't eating. So it was like, when your body doesn't eat, it's just like the acid just builds up, and it's called acid erosion. I used to take ibuprofen for it, prescribed from my doctor, and it causes heartburn. And when you throw up the acid, that is really bad, because if you can consistently throw up that acid, it can ruin your teeth. So and obviously that's bad because you know. But at this point, that was happening to me, not on the train, but you know, in general. And I'm just thinking about all these things, and I started feeling really woozy and like motion sickness. So I'm on the train, and it's like, you know, and I get to my stop, and I get to City Hall. And if you guys are familiar, you know, the City Hall is, you know, 215. And I'm getting off the train, and the steps are right there, and I'm walking up to get on the L. Philly, you know the L. So I'm walking up this step, and when I tell you guys that it was by the grace of God that I was able to even walk up the steps, because I could not see, like, my vision was going. I don't know what was happening. I don't know why my vision was going. I don't know. I didn't have, that's a cry, bitch. I didn't have control over my body. Like, I was walking, but like holding the railing, walking really slow. And y'all know, like, if you from Philly, you know everybody's like rushing up the steps, this, that, and the third to get to the train, catch they train, whatever. But I'm like holding up like everybody behind me, and I'm like damn near crawling up the steps. Like my vision just went, and when I finally got to the top, I was just so like, I was just walking so wobbly. And when I tell you that, like, I almost like seeing black, like I could not see, and I was like 2 seconds from hitting the ground. Like I almost passed out on the train, and some lady called me. Thank you God to this lady. I don't know who this lady was, I did not get her name, but thank you Jesus. This lady caught me, like my whole body like falling over, caught the shit out of me, and was like, nope, come on, like have a seat, like are you okay, like, you know, like what's wrong. Like she started calling 911, and the people are just like, oh my God, like what's going on. And I'm just like, yo, like I can't see. Like I do remember getting into the ambulance. They're taking me to the closest hospital, and this was my first time in an ambulance, and mind you, I can't see, and I'm distraught, and I'm just like, I don't know what's going on. And I don't remember them taking my vitals. Like I don't remember like none of that. I just remember like the sirens and it being so loud, and us pulling up to the hospital, and then them taking me in like on the stretcher. Like I don't remember being at the hospital, like for real. And on top of that, another thing that could be like a bad thing that I feel sometimes is that my memory from a lot of things, like my memory is gone. Like I don't know why, but for some reason it's like, maybe it's my subconscious trying to like push all them bad memories in the back of my head to just help me get over it. Maybe that's my way of healing. But yeah, I don't even remember being in the hospital, but I do remember when I was out from like, when I got like dismissed, and I was sitting in like the waiting room, and I remember I was on the phone. I don't know who I was on the phone with, probably one of my friends at the time, I don't know, but I just remember always feeling alone like throughout this whole situation. Like I just was always by myself, and that's why I am the way I am now. I know a lot of you guys don't know me personally, but when you go through like a lot of traumatic experiences and you go through it by yourself, it makes you a stronger person, but it also can be a little mentally like damaging in a way, because it's like you never feel like you're like, even you could be in a room full of people and you'll still feel alone. You could be with your family or with your friends or with your significant other and still feel alone. Like to this day, I still like, I don't want to call it anxiety, but I still have this like this feeling, like I'll be like with my girlfriend or whatever, and she'll be like, babe, I love you, and I'll be like, she'll be like, babe, I love you, and jokingly I'll be like, no you don't. But it's like, I know she loves me. Like I know she loves me. She'll do anything for me. She's the best person that I've ever dated in my entire life. But I still in the back of my mind have this thing where it's like I have a hard time believing that I'm loved. And I feel like that is a combination of like this situation, like everything that I've been through, like with relationships, and also like with my childhood, like with stuff like that, the relationship with my mom, the situations with my dad and stuff. I feel like it's a combination of all those things. And so getting back to the story, so I remember just getting home that same day, and I don't even remember how I got home, but I got home and I was just like, girl, mom, like I'm leaving. Like on the way home, I think is when I booked the flight to California, and it was always my number one dream to go to Cali, because I don't know, for some reason I never felt like I fit in here at, you know, like in my hometown. Like I've always been like an introvert. I've always been to myself. I've never really had a lot of friends. And then also like with my gift and everything, you don't really find people who are like that, or people that understand what it's like to live like the way that I live, because it's hard. Like, you know, like you can have a dream and it can mess with your mental. Like it can mess up your whole day. Like if I have a bad dream, sometimes it'll take me longer in the morning to even get ready or to even want to go about my day, to even want to get up and like go to work, you know. Like sometimes, you know, those are things that I just struggle with. But I remember like being on the computer at my grandma's house, and I'm just like, grandma, I'm leaving. I went to my room and I started packing my stuff. Obviously I had to go back to my aunt's house, get all my things. At this point my stuff was already, you know, it was at my grandma's house. I went to like a supermarket, like a local market, and I got boxes, like big boxes for packing. I was like, grandma, I need that tape. I started just packing all my stuff. So all my stuff was packed in boxes. But what I took on the plane with me when I first landed in Cali was a big giant suitcase. It was like a gray suitcase, and then I had a smaller carry-on suitcase, and then I had which is blue, and then I and then I had my purse. So I was like, yeah, my flight leaves on Wednesday. I believe it was on a Wednesday. So yeah, so I was like, yeah, my flight leaves at like 6 a.m. or like 5 a.m. or something. So I was up at like 4 a.m. or 3 a.m. or something like that, and I'm like, yo, I need a ride like to the airport. And I ended up calling my sister, like, oh, my sister's just gonna take me to the airport. I was like, I remember my sister recorded me or whatever. I gotta find, if I have videos from like this trip or like from anything anywhere, which I don't think I do, I will place them somewhere. I think I do have a couple videos in my archives on Instagram of when I actually was in Cali. Y'all can see how skinny I was, how thin I was. Like some selfies in a bathroom or something like that. I know I have that. I did have a picture of where I stayed in my apartment. It was nice and shit. But I don't have those pictures anymore. One, because that's gonna be toxic relationship number 2. But because my phone had gotten broken and this and the third, and a lot of stuff just got lost. And then some of them pictures that were. So we get to the airport. It's a little early, so then we go get breakfast, whatever. And I'm getting on the plane, and I'm like, and I had went from Philly to Texas, and then from Texas to Cali. So I had to get on 2 different planes, and I don't even remember, like, I remember being on a plane, but like it was like so long ago that like I don't think I had jet lag, which was great. Because jet lag is horrible. But probably just listening to music, probably sleep. Normally when I'm traveling, I can't sleep. I for some reason have to stay up. I remember that I was up when, I don't know if I think this was when the plane was going from Texas to Cali, but we flew over the Grand Canyon, and I was like, honey, it was so beautiful. I wish I had pictures. Because I think I took a picture of like when we flew over the Grand Canyon, and it was just like so beautiful. And it's funny because I know a lot of people that when they're traveling, sometimes, especially if you're not used to traveling, like you just don't know, like, oh, like where do I go? Because when you go from Philly to Texas, and then wherever you get off at, like wherever you land at, you gotta like, I had to take like 3 escalators, and then I had to go like to the other side and then catch the shuttle and then go from that, and it was just like all this stuff. But it's like, I don't know, like I have a bad I have a bad sense of direction, but it's like, I don't know, I know how to read, so it's like, I don't know, I guess common sense kicks in. Oh, this is so good, like, oh my god. But so I land in Cali at the airport, and I go to the apartment where I was staying, and honestly a lot of this stuff is a blur, so this is not gonna be as long as a video as I expected, because honestly the traumatic parts are what stand out in my head. Like at this point I was already like a month in, and I remember like at night I would go out like to this bridge, and I swear like that night, like the old Kelly went off that bridge. Like I died and I was resurrected. Like I swear to you, because I was walking on that bridge. It was at night and I was throwing up, and that's why I was at the bridge, because I just was I think I was walking to like Subway. I was walking somewhere, and I just started throwing up acid, and I'm just like, you know, and it was horrible. Like it was horrible. Like I wouldn't wish that on nobody. So I'm spitting up, whatever, vomiting, and I'm like, yo, something has to change. Like my life right now, like I don't know if anybody has ever experienced this, but you ever get to the point in your life where you're just like, yo, like where I'm at right now, I don't like, and something just something's gotta give. And so I made up my mind that night, as the old Kelly went off that bridge, and as I started growing and getting to know myself, like day by day, being by myself in California. Like I remember just taking the trains like by myself. I remember like constantly like throwing up, and I really feel like that was like my old life like coming up out of me, you know what I mean? If that makes sense. Like maybe it's more of a spiritual thing than something physical or something that I could really like explain, but maybe it was just more of like a spiritual cleanse. I do feel like my trip to California was needed. It wasn't a vacation. It wasn't, you know, obviously yeah, that was my dream to always go to Cali, and I told myself like when I was a kid, like I'm gonna make my dream come true. That's one of my dreams, is to go to California. But it wasn't no party once I got there, you know what I mean? Like it was hard. First off, Cali is expensive as hell, and where I stayed was expensive, and it was really nice. It was quiet. It was one of the safest places to live in Cali, so it was really nice. Oh, so maybe my next video, drop a comment below and I'll actually do a poll on Instagram. Should my next video be like a continuation of this story, like how I transformed pretty much like my life to like from coming to Cali, coming back, and then getting my first apartment? Tell me about that. I mean, let me drop a comment below if you guys want to hear that story and how it is to like have your first place and the process and this, that, and the third, because I know there might be younger people on here that never had an apartment, or you're trying to get your first apartment or whatever. And it is a bit of a process, so definitely leave a comment, let me know. And yeah, so I hope that you guys enjoy this video just as much as I am enjoying these noodles. Hope everybody has a great rest of their day. I will see you in my next video. If you are not subscribed, make sure you are subscribed. Make sure you hit that like button. Make sure you drop that comment below. You know, be active. Make sure you shop my online shop, bellsbeautyshop.org. And I will see you in my next video.